The Kansas City Chiefs have added yet another player who will see the field for them in the 2025 season. Again, as a regular teamer, again, as a defensive player. The Chiefs are trying to load up on that defensive side of the ball, making only a couple of additions to the offense with an offensive tackle and a wide receiver through this point in the draft, but they do still have 3 7th-round picks, and you know Brett Veach loves to do some work in the UDFA department. So who did they draft? Jeffrey Bassa, 156 overall in the 5th round, 6'1" and 1/8 inches, 6'1" flat, basically. 232 pounds, a 31 and 3/8 inch arm length, and a 9 1/4 inch hand. 4.63 40-yard dash with a 1.59 10-yard split. Not the quickest linebacker, but a 91st percentile vertical leap with a 38.5 number. 9 foot 10 inch broad jump. And 21 reps on the bench press. He does show that on the field. He is not the strongest at the point of contact, but he is a fairly sure tackler. Now you see here, he had an injury in the 2024 season. It did not keep him out, but it did slow him down. He had a decreased snap count as well, but still saw the field for 14 games, ended up with 54 tackles, a step down from 72 tackles. We have seen time and again with this draft class for the Kansas City Chiefs that they are taking players whose draft stock might have been a little bit down in their final season of football. They are trusting their scouting department to tell them exactly who this player was, if he is closer to his previous season than the season he just played. That seems to be what they were counting on with Jeffrey Bassa and many other picks in this season. Now, he did end up still hitting 2,300 defensive snaps for the Oregon Ducks over 55 games, and he was a leader of that Oregon defense. He's a guy that stayed on the field when he was healthy. PFF had him ranked as the 123rd overall player and the 7th linebacker. ESPN had him ranked as the 145th overall player and the 13th linebacker, meaning that no matter which one of these resources you trust more, he was a bit of a value pick at 156. Now, he is a coverage linebacker. The Kansas City Chiefs seem to be absolutely done with getting burnt by tight ends the way that they were abused there last season. All eyes on you, Nick Bolton. He was a 4-star safety coming out of high school. I put college there, but coming out of high school, he was a 4-star safety. So he is a natural mover, a natural coverage guy. The Chiefs got destroyed by tight ends last season, and this is a move to stop that. He's not the athlete that was Willie Gay, but I think he's a more instinctual football player and a more natural football player. Willie Gay, early in his career, was more of an athlete than a football player, grew into a football player as time went on. I think that you are going to see Jeffrey Bassa hit the ground running in that regard. Drew Tranquill, in my estimation, took a step backwards last season. You saw him in his first year with the Kansas City Chiefs absolutely hitting it. In coverage, being good in coverage, being good against the run, maybe not adding as much in the pass rush department, but I think he took a step back across the board last season. Not a bad linebacker, but he wasn't what he was the season prior. Leo Chenal, I'm a big Leo Chenal fan, but he has not become the guy that I thought he was going to be to this point in his career. Part of that is I think he's a more natural middle linebacker, and you have Nick Bolton in that spot. Nick Bolton very good versus the run, so it's going to be difficult to get him off of the field. Leo Chenal, not the strongest in coverage either. So to have Leo Chenal and Nick Bolton on the field and have Drew Tranquill be the guy that comes off when you're running just 2 linebackers out there is a bit of an issue. This is a linebacker who shows good acceleration and good lateral speed. Those are the things that help him in coverage, but they also help him scraping down the line. They also help him making tackles for loss. Very good in those regards as well. Not the strongest at the point of attack, not the strongest taking on blockers, but he's effective at still at least getting something on the ball carrier to slow and impede him. He offers upside as a blitzer, but like I say, not great getting off of blockers. So if he can create a lane or find a lane to get to the quarterback, he gets there pretty fast, evidenced by 27 pressures in the 2023 season. That is something Nick Bolton, I think he's a better blitzer than Nick Bolton and Drue Tranquill. I would still like to see Leo Chenal get out there and get some action as a pass rusher, but that does not seem to be in the cards unless it happens this year. He is an upgrade over Jack Cochran, and he will contribute as a rookie. He will see defensive snaps as a rookie. That means that the team, the Kansas City Chiefs, that has just made 3 consecutive Super Bowls, has found a way to get better somewhere on the field for some reps, some of the time at least, 6 times in 3 days. The Chiefs still adding guys that I'm convinced will be on the field. Now, last year, I want to make it clear, I'm being honest about this. Last year, you saw me have reservations about some of the draft picks. I had a lot of reservations about the FAU draft pick. There's been a lot of guys over the years that I've said, look, I just don't see this guy getting on the field all that much. I think all of the players they have selected to this point will find playing time as rookies. This could be another 2022 draft in the making. It may take a little bit of time to develop. It might not be a bunch of starters right away, but I think there's going to be a bunch of guys from this draft class that do produce for the Kansas City Chiefs as core team players, not special teamers, on offense and on defense. For example, Jack Cochran last year only got 9 snaps of defense. I'm a big Jack Cochran fan. I was adamant about the fact that he was going to make the roster when he came in as a UDFA, and he did that and has been on the roster ever since. Has not developed into a defensive player, but has been a special teams ace for the Chiefs. If your 4th linebacker is not able to find and carve out more playing time for himself than 9 snaps in a season, that might be a bit of a problem. And you have here a guy in Jeffrey Bassa who I do think offers more upside playing just defense than that. Now, he will be a core special teamer, though, and I think that he will contribute there from day one. I don't think he's as fast as Jack Cochran. I don't think he's as athletic as Jack Cochran, but I do think that he is a more sound football player, and that should translate to the special teams. Now, he ended up playing 579 reps of defense last year, a step down from 2023 when he hit 713 and 2022 when he hit 647. But he outweighed coverage snaps over run defense snaps. Still, I think this is a guy that they wanted on the field in passing situations, and that makes a lot of sense with his abilities as a coverage linebacker. You saw him cut down missed tackles. Again, a lot fewer reps, but only 5 missed tackles last year for a guy who was on the field that much. That's a pretty good number. You're looking here at a guy who was counted on by the team for whom he played. I do think that Jeffrey Bassa is an eventual starter. I think this is a guy who does probably... So Drue Tranquill is a free agent after the 2026 season. Leo Chenal is a free agent after the 2025 season. And obviously Nick Bolton just signed another 3-year deal here for the Kansas City Chiefs. He will be the main linebacker for the Chiefs. He's going to be the guy that calls the plays. So Jeffrey Bassa won't have to worry about that. He gets to just sit back and develop. He's someone who didn't add a whole lot of sacks as a college player, 4.5 sacks over those 4 years there that you see. But he was a guy who was able to get into the backfield, force passes, be a pressure on the quarterback. pass deflections there, 4 pass deflections during the course of his college career, but 2 of them came just last season, as well as both of his forced fumbles. So again, this is a guy who is on an upward trajectory, did miss snaps last year because of an injury, but did not miss games last year because of an injury. So that's what I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. And look, we're going to be back with the 3 7th-round picks. We're going to be back with UDFA action, wrap-ups, all of that over the coming days. So I hope to have you back for the next one.